Okay, so I'm back. It's been a while. Um, life's been insane. I always seem to start like that, don't I? It's a bit of a flaw, as is like everything else. But MTAC was Easter weekend. I think I posted my last vlog shortly before that. No, I didn't have time that week. I was slammed. Okay, let's start with the week before Easter weekend. That weekend was busy. Like, I don't even remember what I did. Um, Monday, Monday before MTAC, I probably slept. Tuesday, I went to work. It was a mediocre work day for all I could tell, or at least all I remember. Um, Wednesday, we had dance practice at MTSU, which is out of the ordinary. We usually only practice on Sundays. But because it was the last time we could get the entire team together, which ended up not being the entire team, it, yeah, we just practiced. And then Thursday, I was going to go to school with Scott, but I stayed up all night um, working on my performance outfit for Saturday. So I stayed up all night Wednesday to Thursday. Thursday, I packed and got everything in the car, and we went to the con, basically. We practiced once on Thursday night. Um, it was brief at best, I think, and yeah, we practiced once at the con. I think there are a couple pictures up. That YouTube video with Cosplay Nation and the Dalek, yeah, that was us. The Dalek was talking to us. It was so cool. The dark. Yeah, sorry. It's just it's a Dalek. This is like awesome. It's great. It's really great. And I'm constantly picking my feet up and saying them all things. I'm just tired. My feet aren't as swollen anymore, which is good. Friday was busy-ish. We had our first panel at 11, and our panel ran from 11 to 1. No, our first, was it at 11 or noon? I don't remember. Okay, so Friday, basically, we went down to the artist alley, which is where our booth was this year. Um, we danced a little bit, warmed a little up. It wasn't really a big deal. Um, and then we went to our panel, the What is Para Para panel. And I wish that I had like actually memorized everything that Mike was talking about, and I'll explain why later. Like, I should have memorized it. There was no excuse for me not to. Oh, I'm such an idiot. I should have memorized it. I should have. I was not. I was. That was. Wow. Guilt. I would have done so much better. Um, so we had our What is Para Para panel, and that took about 45 minutes. Like, our panels are supposed to last 2 hours, but our panel is supposed to last 45 minutes. We had a back-to-back panel, though. So those 15 minutes we had nothing to do with. So our Para Para panel, our What is Para Para panel set up and ran for about 45 minutes. Then we performed the dance that we were going to be teaching the next the the next panel. I promise. I'll try to speak English. I'll try. No promises. Um, so we did that, and then we actually taught the dance, and it was easy. Like, everybody picked it up, which is surprising because, you know, I wasn't expecting them to, in all honesty. But they picked it up really fast. Um, so we spent probably another 45 minutes doing that, and then we ran through it once. And we actually have a video of part of that up here somewhere. I don't know exactly where. Tony filmed it for us. He was a friend of Josh and Mike's, I think, from League of Legends. They met him online. Like, I meet most of my friends. So Tony filmed it for us, which was good. And I think it's online somewhere. I'll look for it, and I'll post it down there, along with Cosplayer Nation's video. And that was fun. Yeah, that was good. Um, then we had our, yeah, then that panel ended. And then we finished, like, we finished our panel and everything. And then we came back at like 7 p.m. It was right when the Eric Stewart band started. I was a little upset about missing that, but not too much. Considering Scott had pushed Eric Stewart out of the way. Like, okay, we say that Scott has shoved Seto Kaiba. That's a funny story, because it technically wasn't a cosplayer of Seto Kaiba. It was actually Eric Stewart who voiced Seto Kaiba and a bunch of other anime characters. We were looking for our badges. They had not gotten our badges to us. They did not have badges made for us. So we had to go up to headquarters, basically. And all the guests mingle there freely, etc. So we went up there looking for our badges, Scott, Laura, and I. And as they tell us, okay, we don't have your badges made yet. Just go on back down, hang out at your booth, and we'll deliver them to you. Not a problem. And we'll see you around. As we were leaving, there was a guy in the hallway right next to the door. And it's like, he's just standing there. Okay? If people just stand there. It's anime conventions. Not a big deal. But Scott was like, ugh, I'm tired of this. I'm going to go back to the booth. I don't care. So he starts walking out. Lays a hand on the guy. Moves past him. He says, excuse me. It's coming out of his mouth after he steps past him. And I noticed the guy plants into the wall a little bit and then stands upright. And then somebody calls his name from behind us. And Scott froze in place. And his face went white. He got out in the hallway and he just started giggling like a little girl. And I couldn't figure out why. And it's like, he hands me his phone. He's like, text Ashley. I just shoved Seto Kaiba. Laura and I just bust up. There's just no good for it. We're all in giggle fits for about 5 minutes. I text Ashley those exact words, and she honestly thought Scott had pushed a cosplayer. We explained it with Eric Stewart. She flipped. She flipped. Almost as bad as when Scott took the picture of Slender Man at the anime convention and sent it to her. That was bad. And that was Friday. Our performance that night, it went okay. We had issues. One of our members wasn't able to make the performance. So we had Scott's sister Ashley, who was originally a member of the performance team and had to leave before we ever got the transition set up. Complex situation, but Ashley came back for her solo. And her entire stage actually covered Shout and Killer with her, and I'm amazed that she picked those up. Like, I can't do Shout, mostly because the bending down hurts. So we covered Shout and Killer with her, and then she did Vicious Angel. And then she went off stage, and we did the rest of the performance without our last team member. It wasn't hard. It was definitely awkward. And all of our formations looked really off. But it wasn't too bad. And that was the first performance, and we were off sync a couple times. And whenever Mike or Josh is in front of me, even if I know the dance by heart, Like, I know this dance better than they do, and I'll be looking over at them. And it's like, I have to train myself out of that, and I can't. I just don't know how. I can't stop it. I don't know what's going on. So that we did that, and I'm like, okay, well, whew, I'm done. So I think after that, we called it an early night. I think that was the night I went to bed at like 9, and everybody else was out until like 2. Yeah, Scott, we hung out. Oh, that was the night that, no, Thursday. Thursday was the night that I went to dinner with Zach and Vanessa. Um, and Scott. Yeah, he was there. I don't really go much of anywhere downtown without him. I'm a little paranoid. So he stays with me. And yeah, that was fun. And then that night, we all decided we were going to go out to dinner. And I don't remember if we ever actually made it out to dinner or not. I know we were talking about it. That was the night that we all went out for Japanese. Yeah, I settled for having ice cream. I was not feeling up to eating that night. Not a big deal. So I did that. And we went out for Japanese, and then we were going to make a run over to Sparrow because for some reason Sumner wanted potatoes. I don't know. No, Italian potatoes. I'm gonna need to get clarification on that later because I've been so tired. I've been forgetting to ask. And I see Sumner probably 3 times a week now. No, it's a lie. MTAC, I saw him every day. Um, let's see. I've seen Sumner Friday and Sunday, and then again. Not yes. Was it yesterday? I thought I worked yesterday. Did I work yesterday? What day? It's Wednesday now? Yeah, it's Wednesday now. I worked Tuesday. So I saw Sumner again on Monday. It feels like a lot more recently because of all that we got done. Okay. So, oh boy. I'm going to have to dedicate just one sole vlog just to MTAC. This is bad. Okay. So, yeah. Sumner was with us that night. And yeah, that was the night that Scott and Laura hung out with the Para team until 2 in the morning. I didn't know about this because I'd already fallen asleep waiting for Laura to get back to the room. So I didn't even notice when she came in. They told me the next day. And then Saturday, we woke up early because I thought we had an early panel. I know we had the tech para lesson. Oh, and the first para battle. I'm trying to. I'll drink something because this is gonna get. Okay, so the para battle. We had it set up like Mario Party this year, where it's actually like hula hoops on the floor, and you roll a massive dice, and you land in one of these hula hoops. And there's 3 sets of hula hoops and 3 different categories, and it's fun. I landed on trivia spaces nearly every time, and every single question I got was from the basic what is para panel. I should have memorized that piece of paper. I should have memorized that piece of paper. How hard would it have been to memorize? Okay. It was 10-point text and both sides of the paper. So it would have been a little bit harder to memorize considering I can't read that. But I probably should have memorized the paper anyways. Migraine. Whenever I make faces, my migraine has a tendency to flare and just pinch, and then I'm good. So that was the first para battle, and I was actually close to in the lead, as was was a last minute entry. Like there were 9 people, and Josh was the last one to go. It was me, Josh, Ashura, Lolo, Laura. Sorry, I keep calling her Lolo. I don't know why. I'm just everything reverts to a 3-year-old mental stage when I'm trying to remember things. And then a couple girls that danced, but they weren't. They didn't seem to be any part of a cohesive team that I could tell. I'm not even sure Ashura has a team. I don't know. But Scott was like a last minute entry because we had time to do one more thing, and everybody got one turn that round basically because we had projector problems. We couldn't even get the projector set up. It was just being frustrating. So everybody got one turn, and then we had time to do one more thing, but because we didn't want to end on an unfair advantage, Scott jumped in because there were only 9 people and the max was 10. So he was literally a last minute entry. Yeah, so that was weird. But that was good. I actually danced that turn. I did Vicious Angel. And if somebody had given me the time to read through the cards, I would have chosen Lucky Tango, which happened to be a super song, which was still. We know this dance. Laura and I do this dance every time we're at practice. So I'm still like about that. But it's not as bad. It's not as bad. And then Saturday at about 4, the cosplay contest started. I am still just, every time I think about it, we performed at halftime. 23-minute long SP. I was exhausted. But it was a packed room. And we had, okay, like when we got called up for cosplay contest, literally, it was like, we went over to Holly, who's in charge of sorting things out, and she's like, okay, we're going to announce the winners of the AMV contest, and then you guys are on. We hear the guy up on stage. He's like, and next is Party Maho. And it's like, oh, you guys are on now. Walk. So it's like, we are going to die. So we get on stage, and we fall down dead. Because complicated story, I'll explain later. I don't have time for this. I'm already at like 18 minutes. So yeah, that was a long SP, and I don't really remember anything past She Devil, which was the 5th song. Yeah, that's just how nervous I get. Is I'm fine. Like I know what I'm doing. I'm happy up there. I'm fine. But it's like as soon as I'm done, I don't remember anything past a certain point. And Scott says it's because I have stage fright. I just had memory issues. That was weird. Okay, so yeah, that happened. And then we finished with that, and we literally collapsed backstage. And all of us downed at least one water bottle. And then we talked about going out for dinner, and I don't remember if we did or not. No, we were all going back upstairs to the room to change. Yeah, that's what happened. We were all going back upstairs to the rooms to change. So we all went up, and our missing team member didn't perform with us at cosplay contest. And we all went up to the room, and I was not feeling well. So I changed, and I just sat there. And then I helped the Phantom with his makeup, because that's my job. That's what I do. And it took forever, because the liquid latex was misbehaving. And it turns out the combination of liquid latex plus spirit gum, if they're both in liquid form, like, and it creates weird fumes, and it made me dizzy, and I think Nick was in bed. So we figured out a different way to do that since then. So he's not getting sick, and I'm not getting sick, and we're good now. So we did that, and then I was gonna go back downstairs, and by that point I was still mostly sick. So I cleaned myself up and tried to go back downstairs anyways. We get downstairs, and the guys are like, okay, well, we're good here, so let's all go upstairs. and chill. So we go upstairs, we have a team meeting, we play a couple card games. Laura made us cake. She made us cake. And turns out that I actually know Mike's cousin. Yeah, who'd have thunk? We play card games with her just about every week. And then Pete was there from Disco Warp. I'll have to spend an entire another vlog explaining that. And then Ashura was with us because we all love Ashura. He's one of our friends now. And we have determined that he is cool. And Tony. Tony rocks. Just flat out, Tony rocks. Like, he was one of the most necessary people all weekend. We could not have done without him. So that was fun. And then we had cake, and we played card games. I think we played Citadels. And I played about half of a round and then didn't feel well. So still didn't feel well, actually. And it didn't help that the cake was causing blood sugar crash. So I went back to the room. I started cleaning up and packing because we had to be out at 11. And we weren't going to be here for it. And then Sumner and Scott and Laura all come over at about the same time. So we all hang out in Laura's room where Laura and I are staying. And we hang out in that room. And then Laura goes to the rave. No, I'm not a rave person. So Scott and Sumner and I hung out until 2 in the morning. And then I went to bed. Suffice it to say. I was dead. I didn't even notice when Laura fell asleep. Like, I didn't know when she came in. I didn't know when she fell asleep. But from Mike and her, I'm guessing they were out until 4 in the morning because the rave started late and everything. So that happened, and then, yeah. So after the rave, everybody went home, they went to bed. And then Sunday morning was busy. We basically got up at 7, we packed the car, and then I met Scott and got Laura's stuff in the car too. And then Scott and I headed out for church. And that was slammed and busy. And then we came back, competed in the last round of the par battle, which Scott ended up placing second in. Who'd have thunk? Ashura won, of course, but he landed on almost every dance space. And he knows nearly every dance. Well, any of the dances that are older. He doesn't know any of the dances that are newer, like within the last 3 years, I think. Like, I taught him a couple dances because he just didn't know them. So that was interesting. So that ended, and we went to closing ceremonies, and Evie and I got my first Pokemon! Like, I got a little Pokemon Eevee plushie. She was so cute. Like, adorable. So, Mike, Josh, V had already gone home by this point. Laura had already left. Let's see, who else had left? I think Ashura was still with us at this point. I don't think we dropped him back at, yeah, we hadn't dropped him at the train station yet. So it was just Mike, Josh, Scott, Evie, and I up on stage. And Pete was right next to us, which was comforting. So, yeah, we were up there for closing ceremonies, and we waved hi to all the cameras and all the people ever, and I will be perfectly content going back to my little realm of where nobody knows me. So yeah, that was fun. Yeah. So that was closing ceremonies, and that's the end of MTAC. And the rest of it, I'm going to have to vlog here in a little bit, because this is 25 minutes. So, I love you guys. I'll see you second.